coach back at USD this last weekend. Not as many higher finishes, higher place winners as you've seen in this outdoor season, but still, can you kind of break down what the Beavers put out there?
Yeah, I think it was an okay meet is probably the best way I can summarize it. We certainly had some highlights. Gavin Jorgensen made his debut in the steeplechase. Was .1 off the D2 school record. Joseph Green ran a PR in the 400 meters. We had a lot of people place high. For us, it was a very deep meet, but so I think it was a good meet. We held out some of our top guys, gave them the weekend off, but I think it was a good springboard into now the meat of our season. I guess the really important meets that are coming up.
Talk about those meets a little bit. You had a slight schedule change for this coming weekend. Can you speak about what's happening for the track and field team this week?
Yeah. Obviously, the weather up here has not cooperated the last couple days, kind of with the snow returning in April, which is, I wouldn't say uncommon for up here, but uncommon for probably most people. And we were supposed to head down to Nebraska at Nebraska Kearney, but they've decided to move their meet to Sunday. And that's a long drive, so we actually decided to switch to going to Minnesota State Moorhead on Sunday, which is a little bit closer. We'll be able to go down there and back on the same day, get back so everyone can get the classes on Monday, things like that. Should still be some really good competition. A lot of NSIC schools, Minnesota schools, North Dakota schools, Division I, Division II, Division III competition. So it should be, again, a good springboard as we head into Drake Relays a week later.
The only top five from this last weekend was Levi Nelson in the javelin. Can you talk about his efforts, his improvements throughout the season?
Yeah, again, he's done a great job week to week. He's very consistent. Again, I think it's paying off in just his preparation. I think you see that on Saturday, all the work that goes into the drills, the technique, the looking at film, and I think just for him that desire to want to be great. I think you see it every day when you talk to him, and especially on meet day when you ask him, what are his own personal goals, and it's always to win or to try and throw, 57 or higher, get into the 60s, try to make it to nationals, things like that. So he's done a great job, especially for a freshman to come in and compete at a high level. Still ranked number 1 in the conference, which we're excited about. So these next couple of weeks, I'm excited to see him hopefully take the next step here and kind of really break through. I think he's chipping at the wall a little bit, and it's only a matter of time before he just busts it right open.
What do you think will be the biggest key for him to bust through that wall?
I think just good weather. I think, and just, everything clicking on the day. I think those are probably the most important factors. And not that the weather has been bad at some of our meets, but, with a throwing event, especially his and the javelin flying through the air, if it's a crosswind or it's a headwind, that's hard for something to fly straight and fly far. So I think for him, it's all going to be about, hey, do we have a tailwind or is it calm? And then just you're waking up, rolling out of bed and just feeling 200% and being ready to go. I think that's what it's going to take, for him to kind of get into hopefully the 60s and make it to nationals.
You mentioned that you kind of rested some of your top performers this last weekend. Just looking at some of the other finishes, a PR at a Grayson Bonilla in the 1500, some other solid times there in the distance. And we know historically the distance runners have been the strength of Minot State track and field. So what does some of these kind of depth performers, what do you think they put out there?
I thought they did a great job, especially Grayson. He wasn't a highly touted guy coming out of high school, but he comes to practice every day, works hard, and I think Saturday was a huge indicator of how much he's improved and how he's able to compete at the college level, especially at a meet like that, like I said, which was loaded with Division I, Division II, junior college, high-level talent. So he's done a great job, and I think it shows that we can still rest some of our top people and still head to meets and be competitive. And, those people that maybe don't get the limelight on them every week, they can shine on those weekends.
What will the upcoming Drake University Relays mean for your team as far as a competitive advantage or growing as
I think it'll be huge. We found out last night that we had 4 individuals and 1 relay get in, which will be the most ever for our program. Prior, I think we had 3 throwers get in. So, I think it's just a huge. It's indicative of how far we've come. I mean, 3 years ago we had 3 throwers get in. No one got in on the track side of things, and so to have those guys a week from now, step on the track in Des Moines, I think it just goes to show how far Minot State Track and Field has come, especially on the running side of things. I think we've always been, fairly decent at throwing events. We've always been able to compete with the best, but now that, on the running side of things, whether it be distance, mid-distance, or sprints, I think it just shows how far we've come in a very short period of time.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.